Hi, everyone. I'm ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods on this Valentine's Day where we've opened up the storm door in parts of California. We've got more systems that I'm going to be tracking with heavy rain and snow as well as stronger winds coming in with some of the weather systems. We're going to be breaking it down on what we know right now. And right now, it is near zero visibility up top for the Sierra. This is the current scene at Donner Summit. Periods of on and off chain controls in effect throughout this Valentine's Day. Gusty winds over 50 miles per hour. And you can see it's having an impact on travel. Again, areas of some very difficult travel in the high country. Possibility that we'll see some road closures up top for this year. Not only with this storm system, but with more moving in. Over the past couple of hours, we've really started to see these numbers come up. Our total rainfall since midnight. Didn't really see much before we got to about the noontime hour. And then we started to see more bands of rain moving in from off the coast. So right now we've got about 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of rain. There's still more moisture working its way inland. As you can see here, radar still pulling in plenty of reflectivity through the valley as well as the foothills. And then once we get into the Sierra, that's where we see the areas of snow. Snow level right now at about 5,000 to 5,500 feet. That's going to put snow at Blue Canyon all the way up through the I-80 and Highway 50 corridor. That Donner Summit picture that you saw was along I-80 moving in through the North Lake area through Truckee, and then Highway 50 always also, I should say, having those on and off snow chain controls in effect where you can see periods of snow moving through right now. South of Highway 50 still looking at snow, and we're seeing on and off rain as well throughout the northern San Joaquin Valley all the way through the foothills. Hasn't necessarily been widespread, consistent heavy rain, but certainly seeing those pockets coming down in the valley, the foothills, and steady snow for the Sierra. Winter storm warning in effect until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Again, this is just with storm system number 1. Our winter weather advisory, that's going to expire at 10 a.m. Our wind advisory in the northern and central part of the Sacramento Valley running roughly from about Redding through Yuba City. That will expire at 10 o'clock tonight for Butte, Shasta, Sutter, and Yuba counties, where we've seen wind gusts upwards of 25 miles per hour, closer to about 30 miles per hour through parts of that region. 30-mile-per-hour peak wind gusts through parts of the foothills, including Auburn and Placerville. And then for South Lake Tahoe, our peak wind gusts so far, 50 miles per hour. Tonight, we'll largely see those winds die down for the valley, but the Sierra is going to hold on to some pretty gusty conditions all the way until about midnight. At that point, we'll see that main frontal band start to press its way eastward, and behind it, not only will we have the lighter winds, but also the drier conditions. But we got to get through tonight with some periods of moderate rainfall coming through for the valley and difficult travel for the Sierra. So as we head into the morning commute, we'll mainly be dry, a few spotty showers here and there, and just the residual water working its way through the storm drains. Might find a little bit of ponding on some of those roadways. And tomorrow is basically a dry day, though, for many of us, and a good day to dry out or perhaps get a jump on that holiday travel. We've only got about 1/10 of an inch left of rain to come through for tonight through early tomorrow for the valley. Closer to about 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain still ahead for the foothills. In terms of the Sierra, precipitation picking up roughly about 1 to 10 inches of additional snowfall from what has already fallen today. That's just storm number 1. Storm number 2 comes in overnight Friday through Saturday, and then storm system number 3 overnight Sunday through early next week. And that one has the potential to cause some really big rainfall amounts throughout the valley. What we know right now is we will see heavy rain and snow periodically over the next couple of days. Travel impacts with our snow level pretty much staying at about 5,000 to 6,000 feet. It'll be fluctuating up and down the hill, but overall looks like we'll definitely see snow on the passes and below pretty much through the cycle of storms that we're going to be tracking. As far as our active weather pattern this week, Thursday for the most part is a dry day as well as Friday. Good days to travel if you're headed up to the high country. Now, I know you see a lot of orange and red up here for Saturday and Sunday, but there will be some windows of opportunity to get back down the hill if you want to make it down before all the active weather picks up overnight Sunday through Tuesday. So Sunday actually is kind of one of those dry days again for the most part. Might find some hit or miss showers, but overall nothing widespread expected at this point. The heaviest snow actually coming in Monday into Tuesday, but you can see across the board here, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, for the most part, we're going to call for that snow level between about 5,500 and 6,500 feet on and off throughout each of these storms that are coming on through. The wider picture on the satellite and radar, you can see we get this first system coming through, the next one right behind it here. And this one actually has some slightly different conditions associated with it. Today's storm system moving through was expected to bring us about 1/4 of an inch of rain to almost 1/2 an inch in some isolated areas, about 1 inch to an inch and a half for Grass Valley, and a mix of rain and snow periodically throughout the Tahoe Basin. We saw slick roads, longer travel periods, and snow level near 5,500 feet in terms of our rain and snow. Total snow accumulation, we could see up to about 2 feet of snow for places like Donner. I showed you that to start the broadcast here, and really near whiteout conditions there. Echo Summit, that's along Highway 50, 12 to 18 inches of snow. Lassen a little bit farther to the north here, 24 to 30 inches of snow. One of those pockets that could see some of those major impacts, certainly, but reduced visibility and road closures still a possibility overnight tonight through early tomorrow. We see that first storm system starting to wind down through our Thursday, still impacting parts of the border between Oregon and California, and then we'll start to dry things out into our Friday forecast. Let's talk about storm system number 2. That's going to be our Saturday storm. Minor impacts with our rain, with slick roads, longer travel, but we could see some localized flooding. We have some time to get that water through the storm drains, the streams, the creeks, the rivers even. So we're not going to see those broad, big flooding impacts, but just kind of localized issues with some ponding on the roadways. Could see some water on your yards as well. About 1/2 an inch or inch of rain coming in on Saturday for Sacramento and Stockton. Close to that as well for San Francisco. Headed towards Sonora in the foothills, about 1/2 an inch to an inch of rain, closer to about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain for Grass Valley. Talking about snow, this one not going to be quite as impactful for the Sierra. Still moderate impacts with chain controls, reduced visibility, and travel delays. Again, for Saturday, not the worst case scenario, and actually might not be the worst day to go skiing and snowboarding. The one caveat I will present, though, is the avalanche conditions are going to be growing with considerable possibility of some damaging avalanches forming in the Sierra. So we'll be keeping an eye on that just because of the fluctuation in that snow line, as well as the on and off storm cycle in the Sierra. So again, avalanche situation might have to be watchful on Saturday, despite the fact that it won't be super heavy snowfall that day. Wind gust potential. Now, this is where we start to bring in some of those different elements, is that with that Saturday storm, could see those wind gusts upwards of about 40 to 45 miles per hour in the same zone that we saw for today, right around the central and northern part of the Sacramento Valley. We'll see gusty winds at about 25 to 30 miles per hour throughout the Central Valley from Sacramento southward, as well as towards the coast, and some occasional gusty winds in the Tahoe Basin. But overall, not the strongest winds that we will see in the series of storms. All right, let's talk about storm system number 3 as it starts to press our way, or storm system number 2 with the precipitation you can see pressing our way into our Saturday. It clears out of here pretty quickly. It does impact parts of Southern California, but again, not the most impactful storm of the 3. That one's gearing up just off the coast. And look at the difference in rainfall. The total accumulation from Sunday evening through Tuesday is upwards of 2 inches of rain in some places like Sacramento, Modesto, and San Francisco. Slightly lighter amounts expected for Stockton, about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, but 4 to 6 inches of rain possible for Grass Valley. South Lake Tahoe, a mix of rain and snow. It's largely going to be snow, but could pick up about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of total accumulation. That's when we start turning our attention to the potential of rivers, streams, creeks, getting a little bit on the higher side. Right now, I checked everything, and it looks like we'll be at monitor stage for parts of the Sacramento River streamline there, but nothing at flood stage. It's something to watch, certainly, kind of seeing how everything works its way through the water system, but that's a little far off, just something we'll keep an eye on. Storm system number 3, as far as our snow accumulation, we go right back to these big totals here. 1 foot to 2 feet of snow possible at Donner and Echo. For Lassen, could see up to 3 feet of snow and almost 4 feet of snow for places like Ebbets Pass as we head towards Yosemite. Sonora also 36 to 48 inches of snow. Obviously, chain controls, reduced visibility, and road closures a possibility. That'll be on the tail end of our President's Day weekend. On Monday, could see the biggest impacts of this particular third storm hitting us. In fact, our wind gusts are going to be once again at about 25 to 30 miles per hour, but we could see some pockets of 40-mile-per-hour gusts. This is the storm system that certainly bears watching headed into a holiday weekend. It all gets going overnight Sunday into Monday. You can see this is going to be much more widespread throughout the state, and the snow impacts will be stretching from the California-Oregon border all throughout the Sierra Spine, and then rain heavy at times, especially for the central and southern part of California along the coast towards Los Angeles and even into parts of San Diego. That will take us all the way into our early Wednesday forecast. That one is a cutoff low. It just wants to hang around here for a couple of days, delivering bands of rain and snow coming through. We're likely heading into that wetter scenario throughout California, but we're starting to see that slight shift up to the Pacific Northwest by the time we get to the end of February. Likely in a cooler pattern, though, for Southern California towards the end of the month, and very neutral conditions for the central part and northern part of California. So again, for the President's Day weekend, it's going to be dicey. On and off bands of rain and snow for the mountain areas. Difficult travel on Monday. If you can take your travel early down the hill on Sunday, that's going to be your best bet. For the foothills, it's going to be mainly a rain event for us all the way through the holiday weekend. Same for the coast as we continue to track 2, 3 systems, number 2, number 3, all the way into the holiday weekend here. Gusty winds as well possible on Monday, but a lot to cover and still some timing issues as well as precipitation totals that need to be fine-tuned with a confidence that will be growing each day as we get set for some pretty significant storm systems moving through.